The Philadelphia Phillies just made history. And I'm not talking about winning the NL East. I'm talking about something they haven't accomplished since 2011. Something that puts them in a completely different conversation for the World Series. And honestly, the way they did it might be even more impressive than the accomplishment itself.
Consecutive season, the Philadelphia Phillies are the National League East champions. It is their 13th National League East title, and boy, did it come with some drama.
What's going on, baseball fans? The Philadelphia Phillies are officially NL East champions for the second straight year, and we need to talk about why this is way bigger than just another division title. Monday night was a dramatic finish, with the Phillies defeating the Los Angeles Dodgers in 10 innings, 6-5, with JT Realmuto delivering the game winner with a sacrifice fly clinching the division. But here's what makes this special. This is the first time the Phillies have won back-to-back NL East titles since they won 5 straight from 2007 to 2011. We're talking about the Charlie Manuel era, the Ryan Howard and Chase Utley days, the 2008 World Series championship core. But guys, let me tell you how insane this division race actually was, because the Phillies almost blew this thing completely. As recently as August 27th, just 3 weeks ago, the Phillies held a 4-game lead in the division. But it was really only 3 games, because the Mets had won the season series and held the tiebreaker. The New York Mets were breathing down their necks, and it looked like we might have another classic September collapse brewing in Philadelphia. But then, something incredible happened. Since August 27th, the Phillies have gone 13-4. That's the best record in the entire National League during that stretch. Meanwhile, the Mets, they've gone 5-12. Let me repeat that. 5-12. That's a complete organizational meltdown when it matters most. And honestly, the Phillies basically clinched this division last week when they swept the Mets in 4 games at Citizens Bank Park. That sweep was just brutal. It was the Phillies making a statement that they weren't going to let this slip away. Monday night's game had everything you want in a division-clinching performance. Back and forth action, extra innings, clutch hits when it mattered. Bryce Harper, because of course it was Bryce Harper, homered in the 8th to give the Phillies the lead, but the Dodgers weren't going down easy. Andy Pages took Johan Duran deep in the 9th to force extras. Then in the 10th, JT Realmuto comes through with the sacrifice fly that officially solidified them as the division champions. The perfect ending to what's been an incredible run down the stretch. But see, here's the thing. The Phillies aren't quite done yet. This division title is just the first step. They're currently sitting 5.5 games ahead of the Dodgers for the number 2 seed, which means they get a wild card series bye. And guys, that bye is absolutely crucial for this team. Why? Because they're dealing with some serious injury concerns right now. Trea Turner is nursing a hamstring injury, and Alec Boehm has been dealing with shoulder issue. That extra few days of rest before the division series could be the difference between having their full lineup healthy or going into the playoffs compromised. Now, there is some bad news we need to talk about. The Phillies are going to be without their ace, Zach Wheeler, who's having season-ending thoracic outlet decompression surgery on September 23rd. That's a massive loss, since Wheeler has been their most reliable starter for years. They're also losing their lefty reliever, Jose Alvarado, who has a serious forearm injury and also would not be eligible for the playoffs anyways due to the 80-game PED suspension he served earlier this year. So the Phillies are facing some significant roster holes heading into the postseason. However, I'm not counting out the Phillies just yet, and Vegas still has them at plus 425 to win the World Series. This lineup and this core group of players know how to perform in October. Bryce Harper and Kyle Schwarber both have tremendous postseason track records. These guys have been there. They've performed on the biggest stage, and even without Wheeler, their rotation is still really strong. Jesus Luzardo, Aaron Nola, Christopher Sanchez, and Ranger Suarez. That's a four-man rotation that can compete with anybody. And in the bullpen, they still have Johan Duran, who's arguably the best closer in the game right now, locking down the ninth inning. Here's what makes this Phillies run so compelling. This core group has been so close to that ultimate goal. They lost the World Series in 2022. They lost the NLCS in 2023. They lost in the NLDS this past year in 2024. There appears to be a clear pattern here. They keep getting closer, but they just haven't been able to get over the hump. This feels like their window. This feels like the year they either break through or this core starts to get broken up. The pressure is on. And honestly, that might be exactly what they need. The Phillies can clinch that crucial bye within the next week. And once they do, expect them to take their foot off the gas a little bit. They will rest key players. They'll audition guys for October roles. That's the luxury of clinching early. You get to prepare for what really matters. And let's put this in perspective. The Phillies are only the second team to clinch a playoff spot this year. The Brewers got there first over the weekend, though they haven't clinched the NL Central yet. The Dodgers, the Cubs, the Tigers, and the Blue Jays could all clinch in the coming days, but the Phillies got there first in what's been an incredibly competitive NL East. Look, here's the bottom line. Winning back-to-back NL East titles for the first time in 13 years is impressive. But the real story is how they did it. They could have folded when the Mets were breathing down their necks in late August. Instead, they went on this incredible 13-4 run and basically lapped the field. That's the kind of mental toughness and resilience you need in October. That's the kind of performance that makes you think, this might finally be the year this core breaks through. The Phillies have the talent, they have the experience, and now they have the momentum. Whether they can turn that into their first World Series since 2008 remains to be seen. But man, they're setting themselves up perfectly for another deep playoff run. What do you think? Are the Phillies finally going to get over the hump this year? Can they win it all without Zach Wheeler? Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to subscribe to SCM for more sports content, because playoff baseball is about to get really interesting, and I'll be breaking down every series as we head toward October. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.